Hey everyone, I just wanted to go over a quick view of middle blocker and timing and hitting the quick ball or hitting the 51 or whatever you want to call it. So this is a great example. I've watched this I don't know how many times, countless times, and it's Max Holt, and he's hitting off Micah Christensen for their professional team, Modena Volleyball, and this really is a perfect example um, of timing, and I think it holds true for men and women. I don't think timing is any different for women than it is for men. So just because we're watching Max Holt hit here doesn't mean that the timing really changes for women or age. I think the timing for the quick ball is the same, and it should be taught the same, I think. So I'm going to give you my thoughts and breakdown of this. So if we look, first thing I want to highlight is where Max Holt is looking. So the pass goes, and right there, it's in front of him. We can see the ball is well in front of him. Now watch how long he tracks the ball. He's still watching the ball at that point. It's still at the peak somewhere, and it's probably going to be on its way down any second now. So it's really important that firstly we teach our middle blockers to watch the pass all the way up to its peak, especially for younger athletes who are learning this, so they can learn to uh, track the ball, and their brains can map where it's going to land. And the more often they do that, the more they're going to be able to see where it's going to land before it actually lands there. So their timing is only going to get better. But it has to start with them watching the ball. So this is Holt is extremely experienced, and he's watching the ball all the way to its peak. And this is warm up, so that ball is coming highly controlled back to the libero and to the setter. So he could take his eyes off it, no problem. But he's watching the ball to its peak, and then right there he fixes his eyes down towards his setter. So once he knows its downward trajectory towards the setter, he fixes his eyes on the setter. Now he's also just taken his left step there. So look at how far behind the attack line is. And I think it's really important that we have our middle blockers take their first step behind the attack line or on the attack line. So maybe if they're a little bit younger, maybe at 15, if you're introducing the quick ball, or for sure 16, you need to be introducing it. Have them put their left foot, their first step, on the attack line. So obviously Holt is going to take off a little bit further back, but for the boys especially, the senior boys and the senior girls should be taking off well behind the attack line with their first step, and then his second steps are right there. Now let's watch his timing in regards to when the ball is going to hit the setter's hands. So right about there is when he's about to take off, and notice how the ball hasn't even got into the setter's hands. So what I want you to remember here is that it's jump, set, hit. And I think if you watch your middle blockers, the vast majority of them, especially younger ones, are going to be set, jump, hit. We need to reverse that. So the middle blocker needs to jump first, even if it's a split second before the set is made. The middle blocker has to jump first, and then the setter's going to set the ball. So Holt has left the ground here. The ball's in Christensen's hands, so now he's going to set him. So Holt knows where that ball is going to be because he tracked the pass past the peak on its way down. Then he fixed his eyes on the setter so he could approach towards the setter and take off with appropriate spacing. Look how far off the net he is. He's probably, halfway between the attack line and the center line when he takes off. And then that 50 ball, that quick ball, is going to come back towards him. The setter's going to set back towards him. Too often you see the setters and the middles side by side. And the middle blocker is sometimes either side by side or in front of the setter. And that is a very difficult quick ball to set. It's difficult for the middle blockers to see and to be open to the setter, and it's really difficult for the setters to thread the needle on that. And so, we encourage the middle blockers, regardless of where that pass is. So let's say Christensen is halfway between the attack line and halfway between the center line and the attack line. Holt should still be taking off in the same relation to Christensen maybe a little bit closer to the net, but he still should be behind the setter. So then he sets the ball right, and then Holt can really lean into it. No risk of landing on the net. So let's watch that again. We'll watch it full all the way through. So again, watch Holt now. He's watching the pass, watching the pass, watching the pass. There he looks down, jumps, set, hit. So remember that sequence of jump first, set second, hit third. And really train your middle blockers. First and foremost, watch the pass. Watch the pass, watch the pass. Watch it go off the passer's hands to its peak, then switch your gaze to the setter. Once you know its downward trajectory, and when it goes down, then you can jump, set, and then hit. By far one of my favorite videos to watch. I've watched it hundreds of times. I've used it countless times in coaching situations to show kids and coaches it's time to start getting our quick hitters to be jumping, so then making the set and then making the hit, and not the other way around. The other way around is too slow. It's too easy to block. We need to get our quick ball hitters hitting a quick ball. And we need to start this training, I think, at 15-16U. So if you're coaching a 15-16U team, this is something you should be introducing to them at 15U, and we should be developing and trying to stabilize by 16U. And they need to be stabilized in the quick ball and a proper quick ball by 16U. So I hope this helps. Again, use Instagram, use YouTube as great examples of how to watch these videos, how to watch technique, because you can watch it in super slow-mo and break this down. So I hope you found this beneficial, but again, let's start training our middle blockers to be quicker on the ball and to jump before the set's made, and they can do that because they track the ball properly. Okay, good luck.